Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel ForexPnL. Today is the 8th of June 2022. It's Wednesday and it's time for me to do the midweek Forex forecast for this week. The markets obviously have opened and the markets have pretty much normalized for the week. Usually I post these videos a little earlier. My apologies guys. It's been quite hectic with my full-time job and now I have some time, and again, better late than never. Okay. All right. So as usual, we're gonna try to breeze through, the currency pairs that we have, the majors, and a few cross pairs that are giving me quite nice structural levels to keep an eye on for the remainder of the week. All right. So as usual, we're going to take a look at Dixie. Actually, before we take a look at Dixie, just to take a look at the economical calendar, you can see that on Tuesday morning, we did have interest rate decisions coming out from the Australian axis, and you can see that we had an increase, okay, in the interest rates by 50 basis points, okay, from 0.35 to 0.85%, as compared to the 0.60, which was the forecast. Okay, I think this was adjusted because by the weekend when I was doing the weekly Forex forecast video, I think this was 0.75, but I think this has been adjusted. So you can see we had an increase in the interest rates from Australian axis, right? Which you can see later when I go into the charts that caused a bullish spike, okay, in the Australian currency pairs. And you can see that tomorrow morning, 7:45, you can see Thursday, June 9th, we have the interest rates coming from the European axis, okay? We don't expect any changes, but hey, again, who knows? You notice that earlier today, we had a very significant bullish run in the euro currency pairs, which might end up being a situation of buying the rumor and selling the news. Who knows? Only time will tell, but from what I'm seeing right now, we just have to wait and see, keep a very close eye on the euro currency pairs, and obviously, for the remainder of the week, we do have on Friday, employment and unemployment data coming from the Canadian axis, and obviously high impact CPI data coming from the United States axis to wrap things up for the week. All right, so that's pretty much what we have for the remainder of the week. Right now, I'm going to be taking a look at the charts. Now, taking a look at the Dixie. Now, compared to what we had analyzed for the week, all right, if you remember from the weekend Forex forecast, we're keeping an eye on this particular supply zone that was formed in the daily charts. And you see that for the past 2 days, we've had some rejection from that particular supply zone that we have on the daily charts, which actually succeeded in closing the these 2 days pin bars, all right? So let's see how it goes. In my own opinion, it's very easy and very possible that price can still give us a significant spike to the upside to kind of probably maybe grab liquidity above these levels, and then from there maybe we might get the final push to the upside that will end up creating the bearish push to the downside that I am anticipating. Okay, but all in all, in my own opinion, I'm still quite bearish in this particular index, okay, from right around 103 levels. Okay, so let's see how that goes. I'm not going to waste much time. If we go into the 4 hours time frame, well, again, you see the picture gets a little clearer. What I prefer is to see kind of a push to the upside towards, let's say, 10300, and then from there any reversals to the downside, any market shifts in the smaller time frame, I'll be looking for opportunities to go short, obviously. All right, now that's it for Dixie. Now next up is obviously going to be US dollar Swiss francs. Now US dollar Swiss francs is actually overperforming, okay? From the weekend analysis, I was expecting this particular supply zone area to hold, but you notice that price has actually now broken that to the upside. Well, is that going to be a quick overshoot for price to now turn around from here towards the downside, or are we going to make it towards the upside, maybe towards, let's say, parity, all right, 1.00, and then maybe from there into this particular selling origins from where maybe the bears might come into the market? This is actually what I would prefer to see right now, to be completely honest with you, based on the price action that I'm seeing. Right now, I'm not interested in going shorts from right around here. I'll prefer for price to give me that push towards the upside into this particular selling origin, into parity, and then from there any market shifts in the smaller time frame, I think will provide nice opportunities for one to start searching for short opportunities for further continuations to the downside. All right, at least towards this particular 0.9400 institutional price level, which also coincides with the top of this particular demand zone that we have coming from the daily time frame or the weekly time frame. Actually, I think it's the weekly time frame. All right, so that's pretty much it for US dollar Swiss francs. I'm not going to waste your time. From an intraday perspective, I am not really paying attention to any of these particular levels. Usually I probably would have been keeping an eye on this particular demand zone here that led to the break of this level of structure. However, you notice that price has already dipped into that particular demand zone and we've taken off. So orders have been picked up from this particular demand zone area. In my opinion, right now is weak, and in the sense that let's say if the market is to come back in here, I'm not going to be so keen on going long from here. Can it work? Yes, but in my own opinion, there'll be better trades elsewhere. All right, so that's pretty much it for US dollar Swiss francs. Next up is going to be Euro US dollar. Now for Euro US dollar, I'm really not going to waste your time on this particular one because of the interest rates decision that we have coming from the European axis tomorrow morning. Okay, so anything can happen in this pair. If you guys remember from the weekend forex forecast, guys, I would prefer to see a push to the downside tomorrow. Let's say upon the release of the interest rates, I'll prefer to see a push to the downside towards, let's say, this particular 1.0600 institutional price level, anywhere from right around here. If after the news release we begin to get a market shift in the smaller time frames, I'll be looking for opportunities to go long for further continuations to the upside. Okay, this is going to be my preferred course of action, but like I said, I would not be touching this pair until after the release of the interest rates tomorrow. Okay, all right, that's it for Euro US dollar. Next up is going to be Australian dollar US dollar. Now for Australian dollar US dollar, guys, if you remember, I told you guys I'm keeping an eye on this particular demand zone, and you see this spike to the upside was the release of the interest rates data, all right, from the Australian axis, okay, on Tuesday morning. Now you see I did not benefit from this because, as I told you guys, if this thing happens, if price dips into this particular demand zone just before the interest rate release, I would not be taking this trade, and that's exactly what happened in this case. Well, maybe I would have made some money from it, but again, I'm not willing to take that risk. Okay, but you notice that after that spike, markets made a new low, taking off the low of that particular candle and failed to take off the high of this spike, and since then the market has pretty much been consolidating in the smaller time frame. Personally, this level is now becoming a little weak. Okay, price is not really taking off from this particular area. Now, is it possible that price can easily respect here now and continue to the upside? Yes. However, it's becoming a little weak. We've had one dip, two dip, three, and now we are revisiting it again without making any new highs. In my opinion, this is now not the kind of bounce that I would love to trade. So right now, my preferred course of action is actually, I prefer to see a break of this particular demand zone area now towards the next level of demand that we have right around 0.7100 institutional price level. Let's say maybe 7110, 7115 area, which coincides with this particular demand zone area that we have here. All right, so in my own opinion, any dip into this particular area, if we get any shifts in the smaller time frames, I'll be looking for opportunities to go long as well for further continuations to the upside, probably towards, let's say, 0.7250 institutional price level. That is kind of the price action that I would love to see. Okay, and in the bigger picture, you notice that we had this area of resistance, okay, that was broken to the upside, creating this demand zone in the process. So this is the kind of price action that I would prefer to see right now in Australian dollar US dollar. So in order not to create any confusion, I will go ahead and remove this and probably just place an alert for myself at this particular level. All right, so let me just go ahead and do that right now. All right, so let's see how that goes. Okay, now that's it for Australian dollar US dollar. Now next up is going to be US dollar Canadian dollar. Now slowly but surely this pair is making its move towards that 1.2500 level, which is pretty much where I would prefer to see the bulls start reacting from, okay, or start entering this market. Okay, however, well, you have to wait for it to happen. This is where patience pays. Okay, so what I would love to see right now, you see we still have supply zones forming in the 4 hours time frame. We did get this push to the upside, but it didn't make it to this supply zone area. So, well, obviously, I didn't take any trades from there. And now we've had that push to the downside that broke this level of structure, creating this new 4 hour supply zone. So, right now, if price is to dip in here, let's say 12600 level, and then from there, let's say start giving me shifts in the smaller time frame, I'm looking for opportunities to go shorts towards 12500. Okay, because of the confluence that we have, the bullish confluence that we have at 12500, I would not be shooting for anything past 12500. Okay, and then from there, if for any reason, let's say from there the markets now give us a very significant push to the upside, creating a shift in market structure structure even in this 4 hours time frame. Upon any pullbacks, I'll be looking for demand zones that form in the smaller time frames for further continuations to the upside, okay? At least for a possible retest of this previous swing high that we have right around 12900, 129.50 areas, okay? So that's pretty much what I can see right now in US dollars, Canadian dollar. Let's see how the rest of the week plays out. Remember, we have significant news coming out on Thursday and on Friday for US dollar and Canadian dollars. All right, so let's see how that goes. Now, next up is going to be New Zealand dollar, US dollar. Now, honestly, I'm not going to waste your time, guys. I don't have any level in this particular currency pair at the moment, so I'm not going to waste your time. I'm just going to leave this particular pair, no levels from my own end, okay? All right, that's it for New Zealand dollar, US dollar. Next up is going to be British pounds, US dollar. Now, British pounds, US dollar, I'm still hopeful, all right? We did get a push to the downside. However, we didn't quite get into these particular demand zones that I had mapped out, okay, from where I would have preferred to trade from. If you guys remember, I told you that be very careful going short in this particular currency pair because anywhere from right around here, these markets can easily give us that significant push to the upside, okay? And notice what happened. Markets just cleared buy side liquidity. You notice all these levels were taken out with this spike to the downside, and also cleared in the next candle, cleared all this sell side liquidity as well. All right, so right now the market is just ranging and waiting for some form of action to take place before it takes off to the upside. So well, few levels here. Obviously, when price comes back towards this particular level, which corresponds with these lows that we have in this area, I'll be keeping an eye in these markets to see if we get a shift for further continuations to the upside. Now, another scenario will be for price to give me a dip towards this particular demand zone area, from where obviously if I get a shift as well, I'll be looking for an opportunity to go long. So in a nutshell, this is kind of the two moves that I would love to see in this particular currency pair. Both of them are equally valid in my own opinion, okay? So push into, let's say, 124.75 levels, shift in a smaller time frame, I'll be looking for opportunities to go long, or a quick push to the downside into this particular demand zone area, shift in the smaller time frame, I'll be looking for opportunities to go long, all right, for further continuations to the upside. But all in all, I would prefer to search for long opportunities in British pounds, US dollar. Okay, that's it for GU. Next up is going to be Swiss francs, Japanese yen. Now, Swiss francs, Japanese yen, guys, I really love what I've seen in this pair. I'm not going to waste your time. If we go into the 4 hours time frame, I'm obviously keeping an eye on this particular demand zone area that led to the break of this level of structure that we have here. So, well, in the event that, let's say, price is to pull into this particular demand zone area, any shift from here in the smaller time frame, I'll be looking for an opportunity to go long for further continuations to the upside. However, I'm also keeping a very active eye on the hourly time frame. If you pay attention in the hourly time frame, we also have this particular demand zone area. You see I have my alarm already sitting at that level, my alert, okay? So you can see this previous level of resistance, okay, finally got broken to the upside in momentum. And from here now, markets are giving us a pullback, and hopefully we can dip back into this particular demand zone, all right? Any reversals from right around here, if that happens, okay, if we get this push to the downside into this demand zone area, any shifts in the smaller time frame, I'll be looking for an opportunity to go long for further continuations to the upside, okay? That is going to be my preferred course of action in this particular currency pair. So this is the hourly time frame, guys. I'm keeping an active eye on this. Hopefully this is going to materialize by London markets open, and then I'll probably have a trading opportunity. All right, so that's it for Swiss francs, Japanese yen, guys. Next up is going to be US dollar, Japanese yen. I'm not going to waste your time here. I just have a 4 hours level that I'm keeping an eye on, all right? And well, in the event that price gives us that dip into this particular area, let's say 132.50 institutional price level, switching this, a shift in the smaller time frame, I'll be looking for an opportunity to go short, to go long for further continuations to the upside, all right? Now, next up is going to be GJ. Now, for GJ, well, I have two levels here. Obviously, the 4 hours level, all right? I would prefer to see price, let's say, if possible, I would love to see price dip into this particular demand zone area. Then any switch in the smaller time frame, I'll be looking for an opportunity to go long for further continuations to the upside. Now, in the event that, let's say, this demand zone that we have in the hourly time frame holds, if we also get a shift in the smaller time frame, let's say if price is to dip into this particular demand zone area, maybe 167.70, 167.75, 167.50 area, anywhere from here, if I get a shift in the smaller time frame, I'll be looking for an opportunity to go long for further continuations to the upside. All right, that's pretty much my game plan for British pounds, Japanese yen as we go into the London session. So obviously, again, these are two levels that I'm keeping an eye on in British pounds and Japanese yen. All right, so next up is going to be Euro yen. Again, the story is the same, guys. I have a few levels. Okay, all the yen crosses are quite similar right now. I'm just keeping an eye on all of them. All right, so for Euro yen, my level is 14200, just right around this particular demand zone area. So personally, I would love to really see price give me that deep pullback. Okay, and again, remember this is euro related, so be very careful. Tomorrow morning, if this happens after interest rates, let's say if the interest rate spikes price into this particular demand zone area, if we get a shift after the interest rate release, then in the smaller time frame, then I'll be looking for an opportunity to go long for further continuations to the upside. Okay, that's pretty much it for Euro yen. Next up is going to be New Zealand dollar Japanese yen, which as you can see here, this is the level I'm keeping an eye on in the 4 hours time frame. So I'm not even going to waste your time. Obviously, you can tell the kind of price action that I would love to see off of, let's say, off of 8500 institutional price level. Any shifts in the smaller time frame, I'll be looking for an opportunity to go long for further continuations to the upside. All right, now the last but not the least is going to be Australian dollar, New Zealand dollar. Okay, now I'm keeping an eye on this particular currency pair. As you can see here, the 4 hours time frame, we had a very clear push to the upside that led to the break of this level of structure right around 1100 institutional price level, which created this demand zone in the process. Okay, so what I would love to see right now is, well, two scenarios. Okay, the first one is, let's say, for price to dip into this particular demand zone area anywhere from right around here. If I get a shift in the smaller time frame, I'll be looking for an opportunity to go long for further continuations to the upside, at least for a possible retest of this previous swing high area that we have right around 111.60. All right, now another price action that I'm keeping an eye on in this particular currency pair, let's say you can see how we now have a triple top. All right, around that 111.60 level, you can see 1, 2, and 3. So let's say the London market opens, and let's say from here the market does not get to this demand zone, and we take off in momentum to the upside, breaking this particular triple top area. Then in that event, guys, a demand zone would have formed around here, and well, I'll be waiting for price to give me a pullback into that demand zone, a shift in the smaller time frame for further continuations to the upside. Okay, that's pretty much the currency pairs that are giving me some structural levels to keep an eye on as we go into the remaining days of the week. Okay, so let's see how those go. Okay, so hopefully you're having a profitable trading week already. If you're not, keep your risk managed and try to learn from your mistakes. All right, cheers, and see you in the weekend forex forecast. Bye bye.